All right.
So go at about St. Patrick's
It's
Day?
one of our St. Patty's Day parades, and this is some of the people from the park.
Well, that's coming up.
Well, it's coming up again on 17th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Here's a picture back in, I got dated some of these, 1960 of the shuffleboard court in
Okay.
the park.
You still have the shuffleboard?
No, we put a swimming pool in. We tore the
Nice.
shuffleboard out. We put a swimming. Here's a, St. Patty's Day.
Well, that was pretty popular. You know, shuffleboard?
Yeah.
I remember you used to go to a hotel and you go out and play shuffleboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's a flyer for our trailer park.
Okay, want me to
This
put it
is,
here?
I got a date on it somewhere.
1953.
53. Yep.
And
I
that's
was
from
president then.
that's from the
Was he?
Longboat
Yeah, I-
Observer.
Longboat Observer. Here's a postcard, 1955 of our park, and you can see that the Twin Shores hadn't started yet. They opened about 3 years later.
Okay, let me just move this one so
Okay.
they can see that one better.
This
So
is-
that's the park, and you say this one was taken in Longboat Key Gulf Shore Trailer Park,
flip it over. Right?
1955.
55.
So this was you were there actually then.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Your mother, your
My
mother had
parents
it.
were, yeah. This is 1952, a picture of Nelson Weber and Dutch Weber. He was also one of the owners.
Can you imagine today if they were alive and all this same-sex marriage?
Oh,
They
boy.
go for bananas. Somebody drive in.
This
Well, I remember one time they had a. I don't know if it was one time or if they did it many times. They had the Airstream Rendezvous.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that
Oh,
on
yeah.
Coquina Beach?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
that
I think
one
they
time or
still-
many times?
Well, no, they moved it over to
Yeah, over by Payne Park.
Can I put this here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
moved it over to Fruit. There's a picture of the park after it was
Filling.
filled in after the
And that,
filling.
does it look like that today?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. The Australian pines are not there anymore, and
Well, you don't have to worry about your septic tanks anymore.
no, we don't. We hooked up.
You
We
hooked up to
yeah.
Manatee County.
This is a picture of the Pelican Perch group of park members next to our rec hall. That's got a date on the back of it too. It doesn't have a date. I don't know.
Well, that's okay. It's
Yeah.
probably looks like about the 50s sometime.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a picture of the post office at the park, and the guy pushing a lawnmower is Nelson Weber,
Mhm.
one of the owners, and that was our little post office. And I guess it was only there for a couple of years, and where it went after that, I think it came back up north here again. They moved it around. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just grab this one.
Okay,
and put
that's
it
a
here.
picture of the end of our dock,
Right.
a fishing pier that went out into the bay, and that's got to be in the 50s anyway, sometime in the 50s. This is St. Patrick's Day again. I think we covered that.
Okay, I'm gonna just put that right
Here's
there.
the beach before the groins went in,
All
before
right.
the wooden groins went in.
Well, those groins were very protective of the road.
You know, it,
When they took them out, the storms come from the southwest.
Yeah, yeah.
And it undercut the highway.
what did they call those? Dog bones
Yeah,
or
they were
dog bones?
There was
Yeah.
some guy in Venice or something.
And then they hire experts to come tell us where the hot spots were.
Well, you know.
They were where the groins used to be.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
right. Well,
Exactly.
the original groins were wood, and then after a while, they were replaced by concrete groins.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when the renourishment program started, they took the concrete groins
Some
out.
girl up at the University of South Florida, or no, University of Florida, her name was Erickson or something, and she, you know, it's like she was a Latter-day prophet, and she said, oh, you got to take those things out. And I'll tell you what, they made Clobber down there at the colony, they made him take, and he sued him, and got a court order to stop because that groin down there saved his swimming pool. I was here when they
Okay, I'm gonna move one more picture here. This is just a picture of the trailer park.
Yes.
Okay, so now, I mean, if you don't mind, because
No.
I can see
Okay.
exactly where they need to go, and
All
like
right.
I said, this camera's not great.
Well, that's too bad about that arm. They had it.
Well, have you ever heard "run what you brung"?
Yeah.
This is running what we brung.
Tommy and his wife.
Uh-huh.
Tommy
We had a hat. That was a
Yeah.
good idea.
Here's the Hurricane of '63.
Yeah, it's good thing. Oh, I guess you had the septic tanks. back then.
Yeah, well, no, because we didn't hook up to until 83.
Yeah, so you had the
I was
septic
kinda
tanks going
with you
there.
then.
Well, yep.
Yeah.
83,
Yes.
84. It was mandatory. We had a hook up.
Yeah,
Everybody
well-
had a hook up.
Okay,
Yeah, well,
so we got the next
It would
picture.
be feasible.
Here's the beach without the groins.
Right.
And
And this is the beach right in front of the trailer
Right,
park or
right.
the mobile home park.
right. And this is 1955 of the front of the park.
Uh-huh.
And here we have 1955 again, the post office, and this is Dutch Weber standing out in front of the post office.
Okay.
Just a group of people, 1962, walking on Main Street.
Okay, great. That's the main street in the
Main
park.
St- Main Street in the park,
I bet
yes.
some of the old timers in there could recognize some of them.
I guess they could, yeah. Here's the, again, this is the hurricane, the water piling up in the park.
Well, it's kind of, it's hard to explain to people kind of the sinking feeling you get. It's like the water just keeps coming up and you just say,
Yeah.
I hope it stops.
This is a copy of the old park rules.
hmm
This goes back to the 50s.
So no loud music and no
No
children.
children. Pets, how to be in the pet section. It gives the office hours. There's two of them.
Or the lap dogs,
Yeah.
you restrict the size.
No, they weren't. But one thing, you had to have your pet on a leash if he was outside of your unit, and you had to clean up after your pet.
Yeah.
And he found out after a while that the worst pet was not a dog; it was a parrot. We had a woman that had a parrot,
Good,
and that
yeah.
parrot squawked
Oh.
24/7.
yeah.
Now, is this one you want to see?
You can
Okay,
put that
we'll
down.
put
Yeah,
that
I don't
down.
know what. I got a date on it, I think, somewhere. And that's the end of my pictures.
Okay, and maybe Kent has a question.
We right after we got the fire engine, and I don't know if he's still alive or not. Is Willie Hager still alive?
Maybe his
I don't children think are, so. I
don't
Oh, okay.
I don't think
You
Willie
remember Willie, don't you?
A
Well,
little
Yeah.
bit.
We
Maybe.
used
He
to play.
worked for the city.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
He did. Willie and I used to play golf together, and we used to go fishing together. And I can tell you another story about going fishing that involved Joe Harris. But anyway, we got that fire engine, which was a piece of junk. That we
Yeah.
probably never should have bought it.
Well, that was.
And we used to pull it out, wash it, and wax it.
Yeah.
See, we never, hardly ever went through a fire.
Yeah.
And we found, though, that one day there was a brush fire. The brush was burning, and the rattlesnakes ran across the road to get away from the fire.
Right.
And we ran over them with the fire engine to kill them. But we killed 2 or 3 of them. But there were rattlesnakes all over Longboat Key.
And they were big.
They were big, and there
Yeah.
was the raccoons were all over Longboat Key too. Even that guy feeding them down here at the not Martha's,
Yeah.
You'll Free Me a Hay. That didn't help matters any, but we had a lot of raccoons out here.
What did that used to be called before Euphemia Hay? Was it Jories? or-
Jories.
Jories.
You're right.
Jerseys, yeah.
That was part of the floor show. You would come and have dinner and then go out and watch the coons.
I'll tell you a story about the fishing. Joe Harris, of course, had the Sleepy Lagoon, And he had a boat called the Sleepy Lagoon. And Willie and I used to go there drinking. And he always was going to take us out for a fishing trip. He said, "Oh, we'll go out with the boat." And finally, four of us were supposed to go out. He, Willie, myself, and Jack Ashcraft, John's son, who's still alive. Jack's still. He doesn't live on a longboat anymore. He lives in Sarasota. But anyway, the day came for the fishing trip, and Joe couldn't go. Mr. Harris, we used to call him then, but it was because he was much older than we were. So he says, here's the keys. Take my boat. You guys go. So the three of us got on, and we pulled out. He had the boat near where the Sleepy Lagoon Restaurant, where Cannon's is now,
right
in that little cove there. Well, we pulled out into we went maybe a half a mile out, if that, out of the.
In the Gulf?
No, we never got to the Gulf. We just pulled out into the inland waterway. We turned north. We intended to go to the Gulf. We never got that far, and all of a sudden the engine stopped in the boat.
Jesus. It's a good thing you didn't get out and go.
Yeah, I said, boy, what the heck? We couldn't start it. We tried to start it. So one of the guys, whether it was Willie or Jack or somebody, said, "Hey, maybe we're out of gas."
Yeah.
So we stuck the gas tank. Got a stick, stuck the gas tank. It was about that much gas in the bottom
Oh
of the
my
tank.
God.
Joe forgot to put gas in the thing. And there we are. Now, we're paddling. We had one paddle on the boat. This was about a 32-foot boat. We had one paddle, and all we're trying to do is to keep it off the sandbars because the tide was going out. We wanted to try to keep it in the channel. And finally, a fisherman came along, I guess one of these mullet fishermen, and he towed us back. He wouldn't take us all the way in, but he towed us back to the entrance, and we had to paddle in. When we got back to the dock, there were 3 5-gallon cans of gas sitting up on the dock that he had intended to put in the gas tank, but forgot about it, because he never came down on the boat the morning we left. He just gave me the keys and he said, "Take it." Yeah. So that was our big experience with fishing.
Well, I tell people that the reason everybody used to be nice to each other in boats, people always smile and wave, is because you never knew when you were going to need help.
Oh, God.
That might be the person who tows you in.
Yeah.
And so everybody, the motors didn't work as well as the ones we have today, and they oftentimes didn't work.
Yeah.
And another thing, too, of course, these channels were not marked as well as they are today. In fact, some of them weren't marked at all.
That's right.
And if you got out of that channel, you were in trouble because you didn't know which way to go. Where do I go to get deeper water? And it was a real tricky situation.
He went by the General Harris.
Yeah.
You know how he got to be a general?
No.
He paid the Canadian government so much money to get and they gave him an honorary title of general.
He had that Sleepy Lagoon, he and his wife, and that was about only 1 or 2 places you could drink. The other one was Mar Vista, and we kind of liked it there, Billy and I. We used to go over there and get a few drinks. But he, as I remember, he was related to the Baldwin locomotive people. Made the Baldwin steam engines.
Yeah.
Billy Hager was related to them. I think his mother was a Baldwin.
I see.
And he didn't do a damn thing. He got married, and he moved in where the real estate offices.
Weederbrock's?
Weederbrock. On the second floor were apartments.